I'll just wait to see the changeover. Just to double check to make sure I'm live on that one all. Good old early morning runs. Oh. Yeah. I know, just double checking on my end to make sure, people. Yes, I'm grumbling, and yes, if y'all can hear me, good morning to y'all. Yep. So, hi. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Robotech Macross Saga HD. First and foremost, we gotta delete our file, because we can, and this is from New Game. I made just one. This will be done with Roy here. Roy Foker. If you know him, you know him. Scully as well. If you can tell, like, each character has their own their own actual stats. Before I start, I do want to give a shout out to the community, to the gaming live TV. Basically, the crew just letting me show you all off. So also, I want to show off one piece of tech early. Sorry, y'all. On this one, it's just easier to explain this at the start versus trying to do this at the versus once the run has started. So hold on a minute. We have 3 different modes. The Battleoid here, which you almost never see, because it stops the screen scroll. The Fly, the actual fighter mode here, which you may see here and there, and then Guardian, which essentially lets us touch the ground without taking damage. Now that I've explained the basics, and y'all can see just how much, the stats matter on that one, because they do. Power being amount of missiles, stamina being health, strength being damage, piloting basically being how fast you move on the screen, not how fast the screen moves, and then speed is when we're in the Battleoid mode, which you will not see. So, anyway, let's get this party started in a 3, a 2, a 1, a go. So we're going to mash through the beginning parts. Mash through the opening text. Immediately switch over to Guardian and immediately start getting close to getting rid of enemies. Story-wise, it's the day... story-wise, humanity just got done. It's been 10 years since a great war ended with in a single night, thanks to humanity figuring out that they're not alone in the universe, finally. And it's been 10 years since that. It's essentially the day that... the way that they figured it out was an alien ship crash landed on Earth. It's been 10 years since humanity came together to fix it. And it's the day that it would be launched. When the aliens, the Sandrati, attacked. Hopefully I'm giving a good summary recap of the basics beginning of it. Anyway, we're defending Macross City here, which is the name of the town that spawned, that grew up from it. Anyway, Roy here is a famous war hero, from that war. But as you can see in the upper left corner, how I have experience up there alongside lives and other stuff. This game has a pretty good level system, so we get experience as part of our score, basically. So our amount of lives we have, as well as what we can level up and what we can level up, is tied to that. So we'll be taking out as many enemies as possible because we need stats. Sorry, I had a brain fart there, but anyway, we'll be taking out the enemies here and there. Picking up some of the actual refills along the way. Roy is probably one of the safest of the categories, as each individual character has their own category because of said stats, even though some of the routing for the EXP, which is a bit on the fly, because of you gotta take into account for when you've killed enemies and when you haven't. One nice thing about the the HD versus the original is there's some actual interesting HD exclusive tech, which I will try to explain and showcase here and there. but that also means that we get some drawbacks because of having the fact of larger screen real estate to work with. Anyway, story-wise, as I said, it's day of when Zentradi attacked. And hold on a minute, I want to get through all these. Scout pods, I believe was the term. It's been a while since I've seen the anime. Which I might add, Robotech is based off of Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Super Dimension Hyper Cavalry Southern Cross, and Genesis Chamber. Thanks, Army Gold. You did a good job with at least bringing over some of the some classic shows to the West. I'll add that that's one of the only things I will say thank you to Harmony Gold for, because if you know, you know. Anyway, I gotta do this quick. That brings up the first example of damage boosting through enemies. You can kill enemies in a few ways. And you will see me take intentional deaths here and there to not only abuse iframes, but be able to get through some of the more dangerous spots. Like this, for example. Where I can basically use the fact of having iframes to immediately run through all the enemy ships, clearing them out, and also saving time from it. Because since the game actually still registers our, the destruction of an enemy, it allows us to be able to actually just ram through enemies, costing ourselves a bit of help when needed to just eliminate an entire group of enemies. Unlike, you also see me controlling where I am on screen to avoid a lot of the fire. Fire that's there. Move slightly out of the range so I can get behind them. You also see me try to take out full squadrons when I can, because you get a full squadron destruction boost, bonus on score, well, not score, EXP, which is very useful and relevant. Anyway, spider pods. Anyway, we're coming up to the first boss of the run. As I said, today of the, of them rechristening the ship Super Dimension Fortress Macross when the original owners attacked. The Zentradi, pretty warlike, 50 feet tall. You'll see me actually move around here, do that there. This is myself just so I can avoid things. And let it running towards me, trying to ram me, let me finish it off. You also see me almost the end of every level fly up to the upper right corner. This is mainly so I can actually save a tiny bit of time at the end of each level without having to transform back into my fighter mode and then turning and then rolling off slightly to the side. Not much of a time save, but it does save slightly on the animation. And you won't see me saving because honestly, A, we're hoping not to die, but B, the fact is in the HD version, unless you exit out of the game, you will not need to save. It keeps your progress, and saving is only for if you actually are leaving, the actual software. At present, this is a Switch exclusive, but it's based off an old GBA game, and we want to avoid that enemy there. Drop down low. Anyway, story-wise, the ship, the Super Dimension Fortress, or SDF-1 for short, managed to get away by performing what is known as a hyperspace fold. Which basically means they went into hyperspace, but they did it on Earth, taking a good chunk of Macross City with them. So the fact is that 1980s logic, they were able to keep the civilians alive, but since military on that one, having to sort of take care of the civilians while, trying to get back home. Pardon me, all. Still not fully awake yet, so Pardon all. Missed the one upgrade for, you know, limited shooting, but it doesn't really matter because of what's coming up. This means I've got to be a bit more careful on avoiding the triple shot enemies. Again, as I said, want to try to take out as many enemies as I can. Slowly but surely. Avoid taking damage so I can keep my health alive. Well, keep my health high. I want to wait till just there so I can avoid most of those shots. Position myself just so. Pick up those there. Use the missiles. You may be wondering why I took stamina instead of, like, say something like a second attack power. That's because where we are in the early parts of the game, because we can't kill enemies, you know, like one-shotting them just yet. Well, for some of them, it's faster to just take the stamina upgrade to be able to actually survive 1 to 2 extra hits to help keep ourselves alive, and also be able to kill an extra enemy or two without dying if we happen to run into them. And I want to back up here so I can use missile to get rid of the upcoming turret on the ground. Because as you can see, that way it shoots, it's gonna be a pain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grab this. Position myself perfectly so I can get rid of both of those. Distance for that. Distance for that there. Use the triple shot there. Use that there. Loop around there. Duck down low. Complain that I just died where I shouldn't, but that's true for any of these types of runs. But I've got the lives to spare, which is nice right now. Avoid that there. Fire that there. Move there. Turn, 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 turn. Fire it like that. As I said, there's some spots where you really do want to actually be cognizant of where you are on screen. As avoiding enemy triple shot fire is a pain. And if you notice, we're still not killing every enemy, you know, in one shot, so having the ability to avoid it and tank at least an extra hit or two is very relevant. So we'll fly down low here, shoot that there, get rid of that entire squad there. Position ourselves just so we can avoid things. Getting rid of as many enemies as we can. Ah, good. I'll just take the death route instead of doing the other thing. We do want to get rid of all 3 of those because they are officers' pods and they're worth a bit more experience. So we'll fly up here, wait through it out, and it's the end of the mission. And with that, I'll be taking strength and that. But, whoops. It doesn't matter if I saved an accident. Story-wise, we've made it back to Mars. And this is our first isometric stage. Yeah, even in a shoot 'em up, we have like 1 to 2 non-shoot 'em up stages. But hey, it throws variety into the game. Sorry if it's not a pure shoot 'em up, but that's one of the variety things in this, alongside the RPG pieces to it. Come on, need to get that health refill, please. Thank you. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. What you just saw, well, I should say saw and didn't see, is the first of the is actually exclusive tech to the HD version. And I'll have to go this way then, because trying to remember the entirety of the map, I'll just waste the shots there. That's one of the reasons why we use this particular Destroid, is because of its 8-way shot. And because, honestly, the way that the game handles collision is that we can slightly clip into the bit of the lander, allowing us to launch one of our special moves, one of the specials, directly into this. So being able to completely launch an entire 8-way shot directly into an enemy structure, yada yada yada, overlap of damage, yada yada. We make Dingo Boom. And if you notice, the same way the enemies launching their stuff, they can do the same to us. And that means if I get hit by that while they are very close, I die in a single hit. There. We use this particular model of Destroid because it has that ability in to be able to do things like this. And be careful, because I guess don't die during the screen fade outs. Yeah, take the missiles. Because I have got so many lives, I'm taking the missile upgrade versus the health. Because Blind Game is one of the easier stages. Hold on a minute. Knock on some wood so I don't, accidentally jinx myself. But we're now checking out an abandoned Zentradi ship, or at least what we thought was an abandoned Zentradi ship. Gotten closer to Earth. It's been a while in the year, because it's taking them close to a year to get back home. Some Zentradi, they've been hounding them along the way. They've also, at the same point, have had, not only them hounding it, but they've tried to keep up morale of the civilian population. Had a Miss Macross contest. Rick, one of the other characters' girlfriend, Min Mei, won it. I'll also add, also helps his show because you had some Zentradi shrink down to human size at the time. That war was not the only way, because the Zentradi are basically born and bred for war. So all they do is it, and come to find out, hey, wait, war is not the only thing we could do. Being humanoid shaped. And that's just catching y'all up on the story pieces. Avoid that there, hit that one down there. Sometimes you will see me stop and quickly shoot the one that, I just dodged in with Battleoid, just because it sometimes is a pain depending on health. Avoid him there, take out these. Now, this game does have some interesting, tricks to it here and there. Like, for now, I want to position myself just so I get rid of these and take them all out at the same time. Fly down low, fly up high, fly all around. Position ourselves just so here. Take the hit there, because I'm going to want it. The extra EXP, because I am just about at the end of the stage. Let's see. Could have been better. Ew. Slightly off. Well, looks like I am taking the... Luckily, I'm going to have to shut up now, because this boss is hard. We just got back to Earth, and this is a full screen boss fight where I am forced to do this in the one mode that gives me the biggest frickin' hitbox in the game. So if I game over, yeah, if that happens, it happens. I can only do what I can do, and avoiding damage in a giant mech is hard in this game. Come on, position myself just so. Shoot down the enemy shots there. Ah. I'll get rid of those enemies that do spawn, because they act like extra. They act more as like extra, shots than actual enemies, EXP wise. Sadly. Come on. Come on. Sorry if I'm being quiet here. This boss is a pain in the arse. And to try to prevent myself from dying. I gotta position myself just so I can not die. And it's all about positioning myself just so I can avoid some damage output by them. So if I get tagged by that laser, I will die. There we go. Not sure, actually. But now that we've got that, I can take the 3 for that one there. And story-wise, made it back, but Roy's had to sacrifice himself in order to help his friend Rick and the rest of the Robotech Defense Force get back. Earth, I want to take care of you. Anyway, we'll now have to take out the next set of Centrati that have landed. I mentioned that some of them, did realize war's not the only way, things like that, but there's also the faction of them that's like, nah, war only. Come on, you. This way, avoid the health, because I can save it right now. 1, 2, like that. I want to save the health pickups until after I destroy them, so I can make sure to try to maintain health where I can. That there, that there. Fire those there, down here. Avoid the on-foot enemies that will spawn, especially the one that spawns in a building, which hopefully I get to show that. Yep, I do. Which is one of the cool things about this run. You get to see some weird, wonky collision here and there. I'm going to avoid this for now, so I can go see if I can get the small health upgrade over here. Well, health restock, I should state. There we go. And that's Battle Hymn done. We'll want to take that finally, because we're going to need it with only having 2 lives for the next area. Welcome to Force of Arms. We get to hear Min-Mei actually sing to us during this one. Event-wise, the Centrati have sort of broken into 2 camps. Those that, are no longer, for war, siding with humanity because of, realizing what's going on and, like, yeah, we could live peacefully, and those that don't want to. So, yeah, like, right now we're defending Earth on that one because some of them, like, launching a giant attack on Earth. If you're familiar with the Battlecry run, this would be the beginning of chapter... This would be the end of chapter 1. Let's tank those. What's funny is they tried to do this in the Game Boy Advance version. It sounds like you can hear it in the background to some degree, but it's not as good. I might add Macross in and of itself, the franchise as a whole, not even counting Robotech, but Macross as a whole, and I highly recommend checking out the other game, the other Macross as a whole, not just Robotech, because both of them are amazingly good. And shoutouts to finally being able to see Macross in the West. That goes into a whole 35 plus a year, I'm not even going to get started thing within it. Oh, goody. I don't have to worry so much about lag on that one, and I guess that's a good spot for losing that life. Come on. I'd rather be persistent a bit more there to get more EXP, but yeah, you take what you can get when you have moments like that. Freedom. That's sort of in the estimate for planning for possible deaths in the longer stages. First time seeing one of the bomb upgrades, and I'm just gonna ignore it. Because the bombs, unlike in the original version, which should help you, are more of a detriment because of a larger screen. Whereas in the original, you actually does make more sense to have it because of where it's positioned. Also, say hi to the first of the actual female power armors that conquers all of this battle. Yes, as I said, I highly recommend the original and even Robotech on that one. Because the story is very good, and the franchise as a whole actually did a lot for allowing about the helping with popularize transforming mechs. And this is why I do not like that one there. I'll have to avoid the EXP there. Well. Here's hoping I don't die. Shouldn't. Oh, good God. On the stage that's... Okay, yeah, this is what's in the estimate. This is why it's in the estimate. Because stages like this can happen. Haven't died like that in over, God, 5 months? First time in a marathon for that happening. Normally by then I'd also have level 3 stamina, but because of having so many lives earlier, I took the other one earlier, which you sometimes have to think about ahead of time, and it does change how you route your EXP. But that just means y'all get to hear Lin May's song more. I'll add the saddest part about that one was I was just about to finish the level. That's the annoyance. You don't want to make sure you can avoid things so you don't die. As I said, normally if there was going to be a game over, it would be on level missions 5 or 6, but you can't control a game sometimes. You do what you can do, but sometimes the game will get the best of you. This battle. This battle. This is myself just there, just there, just there. There we go. It's all about positioning and health sometimes. As you can see, you can just start eating lives fast. Yeah. Thank God for the giant full screen attack that we can get every now and then. Want to position myself down there. Apparently get clipped upon that there. Pick up the triple shot. And want to do that there so I can get rid of the giant officer spot that can shoot legitimately 8 shots. I think it's 8. It's like basically a full wide screen clearing attack against us, which is not good. There we go. Together. Come together. Sometimes you gotta basically be prepared to eat a hit or two to get rid of some upcoming enemies. Like that there, versus how it originally came out. That's why the estimate is there. It's there for basically making sure I can eat a death here or stage 9. Well, stage 8 or 9. Move perfectly there. Drop down there. Fly perfectly down there. Avoid that there. Try not to get tagged there. Fly there, there. Sometimes you gotta actually remember, like, specifically, like, when some of the enemies will show up so you can avoid some of the major attacks. Come on. Thank you. Got back just in time to be able to clip the extra 5, the extra score from killing them. Now, the missiles that I picked up here are actually very useful versus a lot of the other ones, because although they don't home, they are a giant amount of damage. And we just got done the game. Well, not game. Just got done this mission. You see why I got annoyed, because went through the entire mission just about to the end and died. Yeah, this ain't PBing. Now that we have that one there, we can take that finally on that one to guarantee that we won't die. I could take the power, but at the same point, I'm going to play conservative after having a game over. Now, as I said, story-wise, you know, like, they would go into attack Earth. The still, you know, the war, the still war-only faction attacking Earth, you know, bombarding it. This is basically their command ship from that one, so we're flying in there to attack them. Dodge perfectly there. Fly up while doing that one. Show some interesting tech because in the HD version, that does not have a hitbox. Well, it has a hitbox, but you could fire through it, unlike the original where you can't. Do a few maneuvers that you can't really do with Rick. That's because, honestly, less speed, but at the same point, you have like a few other things. Fun fact, if I were to turn into Battloid here, I would actually be forced to go forward because of the jets in it. Get rid of that one there. I'll pick this up quick. Ah, crap. Get caught on that, apparently. Which, stupid life loss. But, fun fact. HD version you can shoot through there. In the original version, that is solid. So you would actually not be able to do that. Just a fun little bit of HD version exclusive tech. You can shoot through and get the ground turrets instead of having to be more precise. So, like, I can do this here. Fire a few things to clear out some of the enemies that are early on. So it's hard to tell this area what is and is not a hitbox. Like, this is a ceiling up there. And there's some parts that you would look at it's like, oh, that's clearly the floor or the ceiling. It's not. So, and I haven't really felt like playing for the entire game just for this level or using the level select code to test every possible surface in here. So if it looks like a ceiling, then I'm gonna treat it as a ceiling. Right here is the ceiling, up here is the ceiling. And this will be the only stage where you'll most likely see me not be able to get to the upper part. because of sometimes screwing up. Nah, got it. But you can start to see like how I would slowly glide there. Upgrade. Ah, yes, done with the upgrade. Good. Now, To the Stars, also named after the last episode of the anime. Uh, Basically, I think it's been a couple years since then. Earth timeline wise, and essentially, you know, survivors on both sides they started to rebuild together on that one. With some of the Zentradi staying small, you know, while others, being larger, just helping each other out, and, starting to live in peace. But even then, you still have some of them that, like, not gonna, some discrimination, some stuff like that. But it ends up working out to, still having to continue fighting, but not as much sometimes. Fun fact, Max, one of the other characters, ends up actually marrying one of them. And I don't mean that negatively, I mean that in a good way, because those two, at least on the Macross side, are very important to the remaining part of the franchise. Robotech too, technically, because of the way that they interwove the story in order to get the second part to work. But we'll come down here, fly there, do that there, take that out, fly low so I can avoid the rain of fire that it's dropping. Drop down here. Position myself perfectly so I can try to not die, but to slowly position myself so I can rack up some extra health. Not much health, but some extra EXP. Position myself just so I can let the upper shots there take out the upper enemy there. Hack. Oh, this is going to be a pain for this section here without that, but it also gives its benefits. It has its benefits and its fallbacks, because with the giant missiles, you can get rid of those a bit easier, but also with screen positioning, you can also do that too. I want to position myself just so I can get rid of the bullet hell section here. This entire stage is a bit of a bullet hell. Position myself just so I can lead some of the enemies to be lower down, so I can take them out. Because if you can convince them to fly in certain ways, some of it is not. Some of it's pattern based. Some of it's like they'll fly in certain ways. Some of them they won't. Okay, come on, spawn me back quick. Good. This is myself just so. Now in the original version, this would be legitimately full of lag, which in this version, no. Nope. Do like that there. Keep the hit to get rid of the enemy firing from behind me. Power control using my own iframes. Avoid that there. Fly up there, and there, and there. And be prepared for, like, me to actually stick in fighter mode for a while. Come on, thank you. This is one of the lightest sections of the game in the original version, and you'll see me basically eat lives to just clear out the entire screen. Almost there. Okay, we're good. And if you can notice off of my estimate, that's why I have that estimate there. And I'll take the third power because I can. Coming up on the last mission, which is essentially them attacking the second. Basically, they built like A second SDF, Super Dimension Fortress 2. Come on. Okay, eat the life. Get rid of that one there. Fun fact, in the original version, this is all solid and a hitbox. In the HD version, you can actually fly through that, and it makes the second set, second edit, this entire boss fight trivial because you can avoid most things. Hack. Gonna have to go without the health. Yep. Fly position there perfectly. Hack. Hate the fact that I took a death there. Fly up there, fly down there, fly over here. Try not to get hit by a thing, which is gonna cost me. I haven't died there in ages either. Luckily, if I want to, I can just do the safe strat, and I'll demonstrate that because I've got the time. But either way, there's two ways to handle this fight. Either you take out both sides of it, and then you basically use it to you basically take out both sides of it, and then take out the centerpiece. What I'm going to do is, because of where I am in health, I will hold off slightly, let the health upgrade come, hang out around here, avoid its laser, pick up the health, and then get rid of this. So I can make sure I've got it. 2 down here, hug this corner there, hug that corner there. I'll avoid that entirely. Prefer to actually be like right up against it, but I've got to be just so that I can hit the missiles there, avoid them. So what happens when you screw up leading your missiles. There, 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 there. Just so. You want to be able to take that out without it killing you. Okay, and time will be in 3, 2, 1, time. Haven't died on stage and mission 7 in ages. Still a sub 40. Still a sub 45. Oh, even my GDQ estimate of a 42, but then again, it is what it is. Solid run overall, I'd say. Despite the debt there. Thanks for the GGs. So, I'll just say thank you. Not my worst one in a marathon setting, but still, as I said, I'm glad I got to show this one off. And honestly, hopefully you all enjoyed it. Really do recommend checking out the extra, I really do recommend checking out Robotech, and I do recommend checking out Macross as a whole, because that series has basically gone on for ages. It has so many extra so many extra spin-offs and stuff like that, and just like that one, very good, very important to the whole transforming mech genre as a whole. So anyway, ask, hold on a minute. There is one. There actually is one. Oswald. It's like, there is one. I believe it's one of the PSP games is based off of it. It's either that or the Game Boy Color game. I believe it's like, it's Japan only for those, but it's either one of the PSP, PS3 titles, or the GBA game. I'm not GBA, or the Game Boy Color game. And I know that one because at some point I plan to try to reap those games because they are pretty good from what I've heard. Namely, I've been trying to actually get some of the franchise, showcased in English on that one. Though I might add the entire anime speedrun community, since we have both English and Japanese members, and highly recommend just looking it up on speedrun.com or joining the Discord there if you're interested in Macross, Robotech, or any other of the anime franchises, as there's a lot of them, and a lot of us are just fans of anime and just, love speedrunning. So I'll say bye now for all of you. Hopefully you keep yourselves around for runs coming up. I'd have to look at the schedule myself. But anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed it.